Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1399? No. Yeah. Wow. Tomorrow, or the next show, will be 1400. Yay, I can't believe it. It's been a long time. So close, yet so far. Today, we are going to hear from Adam Rutabaga, Valentino, Bison Bentley,
Mike's Daily Podcast,
and get to the interesting news segment, Do You Know Dat? There's a lot of interesting things going on that you need to know.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
We'll look at a lot of technology stuff too. Hey, yesterday I made a mistake. I thought I had Darrell Neme on, but then I did a second take. He was on, but it was an old show. It was from almost a year ago. So there was no Haley in that segment at all. Yeah, he was
Mike's Daily Podcast.
absent during the record of that. Hey, absent will make you not want to record anything because
Mike's
you'll have your head on the table.
Daily
It's strong stuff.
Podcast.
And it's illegal, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what everybody says about absinthe. It's illegal, isn't it? I don't know, but I had some there in Alameda about 5 years ago at that, what do they call that? Hangar One? What a view from that part of Alameda, by the way. You can see San Francisco. And by the way, the podcast picture has a lot to do with that. We'll get to that in a moment. But first, people are going to walk in like this soul. Hello, my commercials, Madame Rutabaga. I have lived for a long, long time. That's good. Michael Rescue, what you're doing? I'm trying to find a little music for you. Thank you. Yes, it was my
Busted eardrum.
little tribute to you. Look who else walked in.
Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that?
Mike, where's our little bit of music there? Very nice. Wow, you're going all out there.
You are very welcome, Valentino. Yes, it's so good to have you guys here. I was talking to Bob yesterday. Bob is the one I run into a lot when I walk my wonderful dog, Basil the Boxer. And Bob didn't know that I did a podcast. So I told him about it. He might be listening to this one. Hey, Bob. And so, yeah, we were talking about what the hell.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Oh, yeah, it has to do with San Francisco, the podcast picture today. This was a while ago. I was flying out of the terminal that Virgin Airlines flies out of. I used to love Virgin Airlines, and then suddenly they took all my points away. Gone. They were all gone. Because I hadn't flown with them in over a year. Hey, Delta, I haven't flown with them in over 2 years, and they let me keep my points. So, hey, you know what? And Southwest did the same thing to me, took my points away because I hadn't flown with them in a year. So I'm never flying Virgin again or Southwest because that's crazy. And you know, you have to, in this world, you have to vote with your pocketbook. You've heard that cliche 1,000 times, but it's true. And then they'll get the freaking message eventually. But so many people still fly Virgin and Southwest. What can you do? But that just irritates me. And it irritates me too when people talk about Facebook and about, oh my God, they sell all my information. Oh my God, they have they sell the information and then they try and sell you. There has never, ever, ever been a time I have clicked on anything on Facebook that was an advertisement. I streamline. I know when I get onto Facebook, Facebook is trying to make me think the way they do. Is trying to show me what they want me to see. So I immediately go, I unclick top stories on the news feed and go to most recent so I can see who posted the most recent. But you know, you just have to realize too, you're on their platform. They're going to do what they're going to do. I don't know why I got into that. Just that I meant to put the other Darrell Neme on yesterday, the more recent one that I did with Darrell Neme and the Daily Haley, but I didn't get a chance. So Bob might start listening to this podcast. That means I'd have one more listener. So excited. I would like to say a shout out to Kim McNicholas, who does not listen to this podcast, but she has her own podcast that is apparently taking off, doing so well, and Haley produces it. Kim talks to all these people that are launching startups and interesting innovations, interesting inventions, and there's a lot of young people on there, a lot of women on there, and it's just a very fantastic show that you're like, wow, I didn't know that was there. Speaking of Virgin Airlines, the owner of that, Mr. Branson, well, he and Kim are pretty good friends, so, but still, I hate Virgin Airlines. Totally. Branson, you got to work on that. You got to be able to let us keep our points. I should tell Kim to tell him that. Or maybe I just did. Maybe she actually caught an episode. No. I don't know what I'm going to do for the 1400 episode. Probably just do something similar to this. But you can go and celebrate at mikesdailypodcast.com. It is a website that features all the past podcast pictures. It features all the places to listen to the show. Now, Bob was a little sketchy on where you listen to podcasts. I had to show him on his smartphone that all smartphones now are capable of listening to podcasts. All smartphones have a podcast icon. If you got an iPhone, it's a podcast icon. If you got a Android phone, it's Google Play. And you go in there, find your podcasts, and type in Mike's Daily Podcast. If you type it in, you will get my show. And it's that easy to do. But I have a million links of where you can listen to the show. Well, not. I exaggerated it a little bit. There's a little bit of me that sometimes gets a little bit on the exaggerating side. And I did just then. But there's a lot of places to listen to the show, apparently. So, and you can also help out the show through the Amazon link. Click on that Amazon link and buy whatever it is you're going to buy, and that helps us out. There's also a PayPal donate button, and if you do that, you'll get a special personalized MP3 for thee from all the Café Anyway characters, and you will become an inglorious Mike's Daily Podcaster, which is a wonderful thing to be, really. And today, I'm going to see Kevin. Do you remember I did a segment about, gosh, it's been over a year, called Addendum with Kevin? And I haven't talked to Kevin in a while, so today I will possibly record an addendum with Kevin with him. We'll see if that happens. Something I forgot to mention too, and I want to just say this real quick, is I met a beautiful woman with a beautiful name, which I can't remember, so I'm pulling my cell phone out right now. And the reason why I'm pulling out my cell phone is because I was walking the wonderful Basil the Boxer. And this was down in the Emeryville Marina. Emeryville is where Pixar is. Emeryville is right next to where you get onto the Bay Bridge, the Oakland Bridge rather, that then goes to Treasure Island and Yerba Buena Island, and then takes you to Bay Bridge, which then takes you to San Francisco. And at the Emeryville Marina, a lot of people smoke pot. Oh my God, the contact high I got there while walking Basil the Boxer. Let me just say. But I was walking Basil, and there's a restaurant there called Trader Vic's, where the Mai Tai was invented. And I was walking past there, and a beautiful sunset is happening. And this woman walks past me, and she takes a picture of the sunset just as I am. And then I said to her jokingly, I am going to post my picture to Instagram before you. Ha ha ha. And she looked at me and said, oh, I just took a picture of you and your dog. And I said, what? That's stalkerish. No, I didn't say that. But I was like, what? That's... And I was flattered, quite frankly. Her name was Dijonay. And I said, what is that? Name is beautiful. Is that French? And she goes, well... It is a French word for little breakfast. Petit déjeuner. It's for breakfast, and you can say petit déjeuner in Francais. Anyway, she goes, give me your cell phone and I'll text this picture to you. So she did. And so now I texted her back, thank you, but I never heard back. Actually, I said merci beaucoup. Because I'm funny like that. Finally, I had... the worst Charlie horse you could ever imagine yesterday. Oh, God. I had to take a little nap because I get up at 4 in the morning for my job. I had the muscles tighten in my right calf and calf. And it hurt so bad. And I could not, I forgot what it was you're supposed to do when you get a Charlie horse. What caused it was, okay, imagine your foot. Just think about your foot for a minute. Or if you don't have a foot, think about someone else's foot. Or if you have a foot fetish, think about someone else's foot. Oh, you were already doing that. Okay, never mind. So you take your foot, and when you got a Charlie horse in, let's say, your right calf, take your right foot and point it up. Point it up. I couldn't remember what to do because I was in so much pain. So I'm just sort of writhing there. My dog was sitting next to me, Basil the boxer, and he couldn't figure out what the heck I was doing. And I should have just pointed my toe up, point my toe up, but I didn't. Toe up. I was toe up from the flow up is what was happening. I was in so much pain, I can still kind of feel it. What causes a Charlie horse? If you go online, it says you need a lot of sleep to combat a Charlie horse. You need to drink water. You're dehydrated. Your muscles aren't getting the proper water flow. And I wasn't, apparently. So I started drinking a lot of water last night. I actually went to bed much earlier than I usually do last night. And I feel so much better. And I can actually see the computer screen today. When I get less than 6 hours sleep, I can't see the computer screen. My eyes can't adjust. It's like you need the proper amount of sleep. So just that little tip, keep your toes up, get a lot of sleep. And I'm going to try for 8 hours tonight. We'll see if that actually happens. But let's get to the segment called
Bison Bentleys. Do you know that?
Hey, this is Bison Bentley, and Mike Matthews has a couple of stories that'll make you want to ask yourself, do you know that? Do you know that? Do you know that?
First off, our wonderful president, our probably most interesting president of all time, had this to say at the National Scout Jamboree. He had a lot to say there. This was in West Virginia. Ahead of his appearance, the troops were offered some advice on the gathering's official blog. It said, fully hydrate, be courteous and kind, and avoid the kind of divisive chants heard during the 2016 campaign, such as build the wall and lock her up. But from the moment he took the stage, Trump was never a scout himself, touted his role as the honorary president of the Boy Scouts of America. And he went down a very different path. This, according to the Washington Post. The 35 minutes coming up after that, the president threatened to fire one of his cabinet members. He attacked former President Barack Obama, dissed his former rival Hillary Clinton, marveled at the size of the crowd, warned the boys about the fake media, mocked pollsters and pundits, and said more people would say Merry Christmas under his presidency. At least it wasn't more people were going to say bah humbug. He also told a rambling tale about a famous, now deceased home builder that meandered from a Manhattan cocktail party to a yacht and then to places that the president would only allow the boys' imaginations to go. Yes, it was that kind of a speech. In fact, very much like the rally speeches that Trump gave across the country last year, although he sprinkled some pieces of inspirational advice. Do something you love, he said. That's good advice. And reflections on Boy Scout values. We could really use some more loyalty, I will tell you that. And Trump is all about loyalty. Well, unless you're Jeff Sessions. And then you're... What's the word? I think you take the word soul, like the sun, the Spanish word for sun. And you... It's a beautiful Playa del Sol. A Playa del Sol would be a nice place to be and have a margarita. I'm talking about all the great things about Mexico. And how did I get off? I got off on a little Eddy here in my conversation with you today. I'm way over here.
Nobody ever told me that politics was going to be so much fun.
At any rate... What my point was that was an interesting speech yesterday, and I have got to watch the whole thing on C-SPAN's YouTube channel or somewhere has it. I don't want the highlights. I want the whole thing. Meanwhile, Google's London-based AI outfit DeepMind, not to be confused with Deep Thought, which was the computer in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, a wonderful book that I read in high school and loved oh so much. Then they turned it into a movie about 10 years ago. Helen Mirren played the Deep Thought, who came up with the ultimate answer to the question of life, the universe, and everything, was the number 42, which the group Level 42 took their name from. And they sang a little song that went, "There's something about you, baby, so right, I couldn't live here without you, baby, tonight. How can it be that a love dropped out of caring, fashioned by fate? Is it so wrong? We're only human after all, torn into the street." Level 42. They also had a great song called Lessons in Love. I was wrong, and the truth is hard to take. I felt sure we had it all, but love was overboard. Hey, I got a little sidetracked, fell into another Eddy. My name's not Eddy. My name is Mike. This show is called Mike's Daily Podcast. Perhaps you're listening to this show and your name's Sylvia, or Bob, or Kim McNicholas, or Haley. I think I've named all the possible listeners of this show. But if I didn't, hey, please let me know. 336MM Daily. That's 336MM Daily. Okay, we got to wrap this up. I don't have much time today. So DeepMind has created two different types of artificial intelligence that can use their imagination to plan ahead and perform tasks with a higher success rate than AIs without imagination. In a post on their site, DeepMind researchers give a short review of a new family of approaches for imagination-based planning. The so-called imagination augmented agents, or I2As, they're called I2As, use an internal imagination encoder that helps the AI decide what are and what aren't useful predictions about its environment. Okay, that's a whole lot to take in, so we'll leave that there. If you want the whole article, it's on the next web. The Tech Insider, meanwhile, said that the new iOS 11, the Apple operating system on your phone, your iPhone, feature that showed up in the software's latest beta release will prevent the iPhone from connecting to spotty Wi-Fi connections. That, my friend, is something I would be interested in, even though I don't own an iPhone at the moment. My Google phone or Samsung phone attaches to Wi-Fi, and then I've got no internet because the Wi-Fi was crap, and I hate that. So that's a great idea. And then finally, Facebook is on the cusp of a big push to lure independent content creators to share their art through the news feed. All right, this is something I can applaud Facebook for, but it needs to prove it can help creators monetize their content without allowing piracy to run rampant. That's why it's acquired content rights management startup called Source 3, including its team and technology. The startup says that at Source 3, we set up to recognize, organize, and analyze branded intellectual property and user-generated content, and we are proud to have identified products across a variety of areas, including sports, music, entertainment, and fashion. Its technology allowed it to recognize brand IP in user-created content and commerce marketplaces, allowing brands to measure their presence or take action against infringers of their copyrights and trademarks. So let's see, is this going to lead to more litigation? Probably. But is it going to mean that if you're an artist and you put something on the web, people can't steal it? Maybe. We'll see. But it's an interesting direction that Facebook is going. And our direction we're going is outside of Café Anyway. I am a content creator, and I'm here at the last place on earth located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, and I've had a great time talking to you today. I hope you and your toe have a wonderful day. Next show, we're going to have the wonderful Benita, the disgruntled fiddle player, and the brewmaster.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!